Hey there. Okay, we're going to do a quick little lower body workout. So let's go ahead and hop right in. We're just going to stretch out a little bit here. Right, so we can just bring one leg, your right leg in front of you here. You can soften kind of into that left knee. We're just going to reach down to that heel and then up towards the ceiling. So we reach down and up. Good. Just a couple more here. Kind of stretching out that hamstring wherever you can reach. Maybe it's not quite down to that foot for two. Last one. Good. Let's switch that up. Good. Soften into that right knee as we reach down. We can straighten into that knee as we reach up. Breathe. 3, 2. Last one. Good. All right, let's go ahead and just stretch out that hip flexor there for a second. So we'll kind of bring that right foot out, just bend into that right knee a little bit, stretch out that left hip flexor. Good. For 2. Last one. Good. All right, step that left foot forward, right foot back, switch up those hips there. Hip square, hinge forward. Good. Stretch out that right hip flexor. Breathe. Last one. Good. All right. Set that up, or shake that out. All right. So we're going to start standing here. We're going to come into a reverse lunge. So step your left foot back behind you, sink into both knees. You can bring your hands onto your hips if that feels balanced. We're going to step through, bring that left knee into tabletop, sweep back, sink into both of those knees there. Good. So that left knee comes forward. Gently step back, both knees bend into that reverse lunge. Now, if you need a little pit stop in between to kind of reset your balance there, that's okay. Try to make it nice and light. Think about the weight into that right leg, that standing leg. Breathe. For 3, 2. Good. Sweep it forward. Step back one more time here. Hold. Small little pulses. Good. Torso nice and tall for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Good. Sweep that left knee forward into tabletop. Hold for 10, 9. Flex that foot. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And shake that right glute out. Good. All right. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. Let's go ahead and step that right foot behind you. Let's get set up. Sink into both knees, torso tall. Find whatever arm placement you feel most balanced at. We'll step through, bring that right knee forward, step back into that reverse lunge. Try to get that right knee up nice and high. Feel that hip flexor working here as that leg draws forward. Sink gently into both knees. Good. For 3, 2. Regain that balance if you lose it. Good. Step back one more time. Leg draws forward. Hold. 10, 9, 8. Try to keep that balance. Come right back to it if you lose it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower that down. All right, shake that out. We're going to go ahead and roll down so we can come onto our hands and knees here. All right, let's take a breath in, reach up nice and tall. Nod that chin toward your chest, round over, soften those knees, walk those hands out. You can drop those knees down onto your mat here. So hands underneath those shoulders, knees underneath those hips, hip distance apart. Now we're going to keep a left bend into that knee. We're going to drive that left heel up towards the ceiling and then bring that left knee back down. So we squeeze that butt to get that leg up. Good. Now try and flex that foot here. Think about driving that heel up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Good. For 4, 3, 2. Now we're going to keep that leg lifted. Hold. Small little pulses. Driving that heel up each time here. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Bring that knee back down. Hold. We're going to come straight into fire hydrants here. So we bring that left knee out to the side and then bring it right back in. Out to the side and right back in. Good. So now we stay lifted through those ribs here. Try not to slouch. Good. For 5. Burning out that butt here. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lower that down. Drop that back. Shake that out. All right. Let's go straight to the other side. So come back onto our hands and knees here. Let's go ahead and bring that right knee back just a little bit. Flex that right foot. Drive that heel up towards the ceiling. Lower that back down. Drive that heel, squeezing that glute to get that leg up nice and high. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. Small little pulses. Getting that leg a little higher each time. Keep that belly button in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower that knee down. Hold. We're going to come straight into those fire hydrants. We're bringing that leg right out to the side and then right back in. Good. Out and in. Burning out those glutes here. Good. Now, if your wrists are getting a little tired, you can always maybe drop onto your elbows here if you need, or if your wrists are getting tired, I should say. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower down, drop that butt. You can kind of stress that out there for a second if you need. All right, we're going to come into some sideline work. So we're going to lay down onto your side here. Carefully make your way down. Now, you can prop your head up into your hand. If that feels stressful on your neck, you can always lower your ear down onto your shoulder. So whatever feels most comfortable. We're going to have both knees bent here. Push that butt back a little bit if you need. We're just going to start by lifting that top leg. Shins stay parallel with one another here. So we just lift and lower. So we already feel that glute, so it's probably starting to burn a little bit. Good. For 3, 2. Good. Lift, lower to about hip height. We're going to trace an imaginary circle with your kneecap here. So your movement is coming from your hip. Feeling the burn in that glute. For 4, 3, 2. Pause and reverse that circle. So keep that spine nice and long. Keep that chin lifted, belly button in. Breathe for 3, 2, and lower that down. Whew, shake that out. All right. Next, we're going to come into clam diggers here. So you're going to lift your knee up, keeping that heel down, and then lower it back down. So that knee lifts up and lower. Breathe. Maybe that heel comes off of that a little bit just to work that glute a little bit more. Keep that glute active for 2. Last one. Good. Lower down. Now we're going to reverse that direction. So you're going to lift that heel up towards the ceiling and lower back down. So we're just pivoting right in that hip joint there. Now if you want to get a little bit more extra work, so go ahead and just lift that knee, find space between those knees as that heel twists up. For 3, 2, last one. Lower that down. Woo! Last one here. Let's come right into it. Finish strong here. We're going to bend and extend. So we drive that heel away. Bring that knee back in. So you want to think about leading with that knee as it comes in front of you and then driving away with that heel. Breathe. So we have nice big space between our knees here. Breathe through that burn. 3, 2, neck long, and lower that down. Woo! All right, let's carefully make your way up here. We're going to come over to the other side. Laying down onto your side here. Again, you can prop your head into your hand. If that does not feel okay in your neck, please feel free to switch it up. You can switch it up while we're doing the exercises as well. So we'll have both knees bent, butt back a little bit here. We'll start with those feet flexed, and we'll lift and lower. In the shin staying parallel here. Doesn't have to be a huge lift or get kind of rocky, just nice and stable. For 3, 2, lower down to about hip height. We're going to trace that imaginary circle with your kneecap. Now you want to try to keep that circle above your hip line, so not coming down here too low. Just staying elevated, that hip staying active, that glute staying active. 2, pause, and reverse that circle. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, and lower that down. Give yourself a second before we come into those clam diggers on this side. Okay, let's reset. All right, we're gonna bring that knee up towards the ceiling and lower it down. Squeeze that up and lower. Again, now if you want more of a burn, try and keep that leg hovering in the air a bit as that knee turns up. Yeah, feel the burn. 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower down. All right, let's come right into that reverse motion here. We lift that heel up and lower down. Lift that heel up and lower down. Now, if you want to increase burn, we can lift that knee up. That leg stays elevated in the air as we pivot in that hip joint here. For 3, 2, last one, and lower down. All right, let's finish up. Last one here. We bend and extend. Bring that knee in. Drive that heel away. Okay, so we bend. Inhale. Exhale. Drive the way. Breathe. Space between those knees as that knee leads forward in front of you. Drive that heel away. 4. Breathe through. You got this. 3. I almost forgot what number it was. 2. Last one. Drive that heel away one more time and lower down. All right, let's go ahead and roll onto your stomach here. You can windshield wiper those legs to kind of shake out those hips. We're just going to work into those hip flexors a little bit here. All right, so I'm going to kind of carefully prop yourself up onto your elbows, onto your forearms here. And then we're going to lift our right leg up off of the ground, lower it down. Lift that left leg, lower. Just going to kind of get used to this motion here. We're squeezing that butt. Couple more. So we're lifted out of those shoulders. Our belly button is drawn in off of that mat. Now, lift that right leg, hold. Try to keep that right knee lifted as we drive our heel towards our butt. Straighten back out and lower down. So we lift that left leg, heel to butt. Extend and lower down. Stay out of those shoulders. Good. Now you want to try to keep that kneecap off of that mat as that heel pulls into your butt here. Really want to feel those hamstrings there. Stay nice and long. Good. Lift. Now we can pulse twice as that knee bends. Pulse, pulse, extend, lower, lift, pull, pull, lower, lift, pull, pull. Good. Lift, pull, pull. 2 more on each side. Lift, pull, pull. Stay out of those shoulders, belly button in. Last one. Try to keep that knee high. Lift, pull, pull, and lower everything down. You can windshield wiper those legs to shake that out. All right, let's go ahead and carefully make your way up here. Let's just stretch out those hips here for a second. So we hinge forward, push that butt back, stretch out those hamstrings. 2. Last one. Good. All right, let's bring that knee back. Other foot forward. We hinge, drop back, stretch out that hamstring. For 2. Last one. Good. All right. Take a breath in, reach nice and tall, and go ahead and press that away. Good work. Hope you're feeling good. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.